Hey, and welcome to this video. Today I'll be talking about everyone's favorite site, CS.money, and why it has turned out to become probably the biggest cash grab of all CSGO marketplaces or trading sites. I hope that you learned something new. Please share with me if you do. I would love to know down in the comments, and yeah, enjoy the video. CS.money got released in 2016 and has since then completely dominated the bot trading industry. They very quickly became the market leader and brute forced their way to the top with some serious marketing. Even a year ago, their marketing team alone consisted of more than 35 people. In the early days of CS.money, the CSGO gambling industry was thriving, and even though you might have forgotten, there was zero trade luck, meaning that trades were happening at a way more frequent pace. At the time, CS.money was, in my opinion, a fairly reasonable site, where you'd lose 4 to 8% on a trade. However, it was convenient, was fast, and their selection of skins to trade with was superior to anything else. It might have been boiled down to what this Reddit user said 3 years ago. It's safe, but their prices are shit. The skins are pretty overpriced, so don't expect a good deal. CS.money has never been the best option for everyone to trade their skins, but it has always been convenient and had fees that were, to at least most people, somewhat acceptable. Before we start, it is important to understand the difference between Steam and CS.money value and cash value. Due to Steam having no withdrawal option for your balance amongst some other factors, in actual cash, items are worth approximately 65 to 75% of what they are in the Steam market. CS.money prices are based on the Steam market prices and use Steam value rather than cash value, on which they add a premium depending on the item in question. Until recently, CS.money stayed true to these principles. Thousands of dollars worth of balance spent on CS.money would usually turn to $650 in cash once the withdrawn items would be sold for actual cash, making the so-called cash ratio 65%. However, that is entirely different now. By picking 3 popular items at random, we can see that by spending $234.8 in CS.money on the cheapest God Fade and selling it on a cash marketplace at the current cheapest price, we actually retain only 47% of what we spent after fees. That by spending $7,809 on the cheapest Alt Dragon lore field tested and then selling it on a cash marketplace at the current cheapest price, we actually retain only 52% of what we spent after fees. And by spending $983.5 on the cheapest Cool Mint gloves in minimal wear and then selling them on a cash marketplace at the current cheapest price, we actually retain only 50% of what we spent after fees. This goes to show the massive difference in CS.money's pricing system that occurred during the previous months where the website refused to accurately update them. Nevertheless, it is important to note that the cash ratio doesn't tell the full story. Let's imagine a random item valued at $200 cash. Now imagine it is in CS.money's inventory priced at $1,000. Its cash ratio is 20%. As long as the very same item is priced at between 5 to 7% less in our inventory as advertised $930 to $950, things are completely fine as we are on an equal playing field. However, sadly that is not the case. CS.money is taking a cut far larger than that. And what was initially advertised ranging as high as 20%, which was one of the main reasons for making this video. CS.money has always been good at keeping up with prices in the market. Sometimes when prices change fast, it's hard to update things, and there'll always be times where they win or lose a bit of money on that. In July, however, that all changed. During the period between April and June, we saw huge increases in skin prices. Butterfly Sapphires reached $20,000, even Stupid Banana Fall had a 1400% increase in just 7 days. Now this was a very obvious bubble and things came down again in July as seen on this graph I tweeted out. Curious to see where the bottom is. Most liquids are back to pre-bubble price. I'd say soonish is a good time to buy skins, not financial advice. This was a tweet I made on July 10th, when shit hit the fan and the market crashed more than 50% for most items. So what happened to CS.money? Well, CS.money had adjusted their prices all the way up in this massive uptrend, but then, well, shit hit the fan and the entire market dropped up to 40%. They changed nothing as their inventory value would decrease the same amount with the press of a button. All of a sudden, people had items in their inventories that were priced by CS.money at $5,000, but were now only worth $1,500. So what did people do? They dumped their inventories on CS.money, expecting for their algorithm to adjust and exit their losses on CS.money. But that never happened. Actually, the opposite happened. In the months to come, CS.money would continue to completely ignore the market conditions for reasons already told and kept their skins at completely inflated prices. They even decided to increase prices on some skins, which was a genius move, forcing people that needed the capital they dumped in CS.money to actually exit their positions at a slight loss. This resulted in CS.money forcing their users to either take out their balance with overpriced pricings or wait and have their money sit idle in CS.money until they eventually updated the prices. Essentially just giving CS.money a free investment with an unknown end date. Here are some current examples of CS.money prices versus cash prices. So in this particular instance, you would have to spend $3,202 with a current top-up bonus of 45%, which by the way is a campaign and is usually lower. For an item that has a cash value of $1,884, that's 84% more than its actual value. While the fact that CS.money now has a platform that has moved so far away from the reality of cash values, where you have items listed on the site for just 30 to 40% in real cash, there are more fundamental things wrong with the platform as well. CS.money advertise themselves and their price algorithm as being accurate and that the site has the best prices, slogan being a better way to trade CSGO skins. When I confronted them with instances like the one above, they simply replied there's nothing wrong with our algorithm. The first thing I want to break down is the log fee. On CS.money you have a base fee of 7% if you're a Prime subscriber. However, I am sure that the average casual user did not know that this fee can be upwards of 20%. 6 days after an item's trade hold is expired, the fee will be at 7% base. However, on the first day of the item being deposited, there's an additional 13% fee on top, which goes lower every day until it eventually reaches 0. Granted, nobody takes the item before that day. Here's a very typical trade. I did not go looking for the worst example, but just took the first normal knife I had in my inventory and selected another normal knife. In this particular instance, I would be paying a 32% fee to trade my item without the Prime subscription, which would cut off 3%. So not only is the base fee high, but the valuations and skins are so messy and wrong that you frankly never know how badly you're getting ripped off. In this case, I just lost 1/3 of my knife's value in a single trade. Here's another example, a very standard M9 doublet phase 1. I am able to trade it for a minimal wear bayonet doublet phase 1. Cash value of the M9, 408, cash price of the minimal wear bayonet phase 1, 320. This trade will lose you $80 or 24% of the cash value. Lastly, a more affordable orb Electric Hive in Factory New, traded for the popular Deagle print stream and Battlescard. Cash value of the orb, 41. Cash value of the Desert Eagle, 32. 24% margin once again, 21 if I had Prime. To show this even further, we can match Steam prices. The Electric Hive in Factory New highest buy order on Steam is 46.78 euros, and the highest buy order on the Desert Eagle print stream is 33.87 euros. The difference here is 31%, so even worse than the cash price references. Before we talk about auctions in CS.money, we need to address why so many people deposit more unique skins on the site. CS.money is still to this date the only site that offers users overpay for float, stickers and special patterns, and that makes it the most advanced trading site. Now they might do a shit job at this, but it is there nonetheless. Now many users believe that this is what makes them superior, but to me it seems like another layer of dishonesty. If a user sees that his weapon with the rare stickers gets some sort of overpay, he might be inclined to trade it away. It might be that he's getting paid 5% of his actual value, but it's the only site that offers him overpay. Now, the user deposits his rare item, and the site automatically puts it into their auction system. The auction system lists the item at the price the user sold or traded it for, with their fee added on top. It can now be bid on by users and reach a higher price. Here is an example. This pair of gloves were likely sold or traded by the user who received approximately $1,500 of credit on CS.money. The item that has a special float of 0.07 is worth far more, so it goes on auction where users has now bid it up to an end price of $3,000 and CS.money is left with a juicy cut of 100% instead of 4 to 7%. The auctions are essentially a function that is in place in order for CS.money to secure profits on undervalued items instead of having the user snipe them on the site. These gloves could have had sold for $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, but the user still receives the $1,500 he traded them away for. So the auction is only in place for CS.money to secure that extra layer of profit, with nothing going to the user. In 2019, CS.money announced that cash outs are coming soon. This has to this day misled thousands of users to opt for selling the items in CS.money since their prices are often 200% of the actual value. Imagine you unbox a pair of Factory Vice gloves. You get an offer from a trader for $20,000 being close to its cash value. You log on CS.money and you're met with this picture. $36,458. Then you navigate to the site and you see this. Cash out coming soon. As a casual seeing that cash out coming soon, regardless of it having been there for 2 years, and that you can get almost double the price on CS.money, you would probably likely sell it there, right? Now, I have actually no evidence why cash out soon has been in the making for 2 years, but I'm not naive and I am convinced that it's purely to attract more people to sell their items on CS.money, resulting in this being one of the scummiest things taking place on this already scummy platform. Well, CS.money has to do a better job at telling people that CS.money operates with tokenized funds and their prices does in no way reflect market values, Steam prices, cash prices, but are prices that quite frankly are pulled out of their ass. But at least address them as being their own algorithm, so users know that they cannot use it as a reference point for anything at all. If you overpay for unique patterns, float, stickers, it's obvious that it can never be accurate on everything. That's a given. However, that's where the auction aspect of CS.money seemingly was a genius idea, only it got added as a money printer for CS.money. The fact that they overpay for these listings does not make them a better site or a more rewarding site. With how things work, it's simply an extra layer to receive undervalued niche skins that they can auction off to secure insane margins on the majority of them. A simple fix would be that if a user's item goes on auction, then at least credit him with 90% of the value it reaches. Why not? If your site's purpose is to have a 4 to 7% fee, then getting an additional 10% on the item should not be an issue. CS.money has to start adjusting the prices back to a level where it at least reaches the slight transparency it had years ago. Cash out option coming soon should be removed or have an actual date attached to it, instead of falsely misleading users to think that they can cash out their balance soon. To round things off, nothing from the lock fee, overpricing of items, deposit bonus, or falsely advertising on the site is transparent currently, and the site continues to become increasingly scummier.